So hello, my name is Jamie with MyTarot.org, and it's been a while since I've just gone online. Normally I do on Wednesday nights. Normally I would be doing the Two of Wands with my buddy Michael, who lives right down the street, but he's on vacation, so we didn't do that, where we're covering the tarot, and we're going to be covering we've already covered all the majors, covered the pips, and now we're moving to the court cards, so that should be fun. And so I just thought I wanted to just get online and see if anybody was here, and just kind of like see if anybody had any questions, if anybody wanted any readings. I thought that I would go through some of the new stuff that I've gotten in the past month or so. I realized that I have some unboxings that I need to do. It's so bad that I actually have stuff that's still wrapped up. And I got this I don't even know how long ago. But I haven't opened it because I was going to do it online. So what's the deal with that? So, that is what my main thing was, and just talk about where I'm at and all with this. And so one of the things I'm doing right now, and I'm actually doing I guess I have been doing videos. I'm reading the book called A Wicked Pack of Cards, and this is by Michael Dummett. And as you can see, I am a writer and book type person, and so it's about the origins of the tarot and origins of the occult tarot. And so I'm going through this right now, and I'm actually doing videos on it, where I'm taking about a little bit over an hour to cover where I'm at. And so I'm reading through this and I'm doing that. And one of the reasons why I was doing that is because I had already read on ebook this one, The History of Occult Tarot, which is a different book than A Wicked Pack of Cards, but it's written by Michael Dummett again. Richard Deckard and Michael Dummett. And so this is more about the people, more about kind of the history, and this is actually more in depth. So I just got this, even though I had gotten it on ebook. So that's cool. And so I will end up going through and notating the same way I've done the other ones. I also, see, I got all this stuff on my list. But I'm thinking before I do anything else, after I'm done with the Wicked Pack of Cards. So, Read Like the Devil. So this book here, by Camilla Ellis. So I've already got and read two of her other books. So, I think this was the first one I got, Towards the Art of Reading, the Marseille Tarot. And so I had gotten into the Marseille because I have, you read the Rider-Waite, you learn your keywords, all that wonderful stuff. But then I found myself getting stuck. And so I decided it's like, all right, I can learn how to play guitar, I can learn how to do computers. You know what? I can learn how to read the Marseille Tarot. And for me, so I've got several books now. I mean, it's been quite a while now, but I'm saying that these were some really good books by Camilla Ellis, and she's got a really good website. And so now I also want to jump into the playing cards. And I want to see what she has for reading playing cards, because obviously that will translate over to the pips. And I see we have some people on Twitch also, so I just want to say hi to people on Twitch. And if you are interested, you can bounce over to YouTube, and that way we can actually have more of a conversation, etc., etc. So it just feeds in both places. But anyway, so if anybody is interested in the Marseille Tarot, I did enjoy these. These are not the first ones I would start out with, though. I would start out with the Ben Bove. Yeah, I'd start out with a different book that I'm looking at over there. just because there's easier ways to learn. There it is. Easier ways to learn the Marseille Tarot. The Camilla Ellis, I feel, was a little bit more of an advance. So, and hello also to you. And so we've got some people on here. So I am just kind of going through some things that I've gotten in the last month. And if anybody's got any questions or anything like that, or if anybody wants a reading, every time I'm doing any other video, people start asking for readings. So I can do readings, and I can also incorporate, different types of things. Well, thank you, Elsa. Yes. Well, so I got those. Okay. So yes, I want to learn. I do want to learn how to read the playing cards. That's going to be cool. Looking forward to that. So some other books that I have gotten though. So I finally made it to the Crystal Fox in Laurel, Maryland. So I'd heard about it. There's a couple, occult shops around and stuff like that. But I had heard that was one of the bigger ones, spiritual shops. I don't know if we call them occult shops anymore. I do. So, but it's called the Crystal Fox. I walked in there and they just had a huge display of tarot. So I really need to stop spending money. But, I had not even seen anybody talking about this. It might be out there. But, so it is Donald Tyson's, just came out about a year and a half ago. Donald Tyson's edited and annotated collection of sources, texts for Western occultism. And so that's kind of what I'm reading right now is the history. And so it's going to be interesting to actually, I have not read the De Geblins. I have not read any of the other early occultists other than I've read some Mathers and I've read some, I've got Pappas up there and things like that. But the ones that actually started, De Geblin mentioned that the tarot was Egyptian, which, spoilers, it's not. I know. And if you read History of the Occult Tarot and stuff, they're going to just tell you flat out. So some people think they're highly opinionated, but gosh darn it, they keep putting footnotes and actually qualifying their statements. They need to stop doing that. But I'm looking forward to this because it does have in here, and again, so when De Geblin did his encyclopedia, he had to fill in a lot of spaces because it's going to be like this huge 9-volume thing or thing like that. So he just felt that it's like, well, if I don't know something, I'll just invent it. And Egyptology was really big. The Rosetta Stone had not been translated yet. So he just said, oh, great, I'm just going to throw it in my book here, The Game of Tarot, and threw that into the Monde Primitif. And then from there, everybody just ran with it. So, hey, Crunchy Moogle? Cool. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the thing I have about the tarot books, I mean, if you look at my shelves, you'll see I've got dozens of them, is that they talk about the books that they wrote, that they had talked about, that they had wrote about, and they're actually mowing grass behind me now. So we'll pretend that's the ocean if you can hear it. But they seem to be repetitive. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into the history, why I wanted to get into understanding where it came from, what De Geblin first said, what Levi first said. Oh yeah, Lawnmower says yeah, exactly. So that's why. So I'm excited to pick this up after I read the other 7 books in front of me because I got that one yesterday, and I also got some decks. I'll show the decks too, but talked about that one because that one just came in the mail. I read this as an ebook. You can actually find this online as an ebook, but again, since I actually like marking up and notating books, it's like I'm hell on books. Walked into a used bookstore and I found Joseph Campbell. and Richard Roberts, Tarot Revelations. So that's pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. And let's see, what else? Oh. And the other one that I've seen quoted, some people have issues with this particular book, Mystical Origins of the Tarot, Paul Husson, because apparently he doesn't footnote and document his stuff, but it still should be an interesting read. So after I finish these books tonight, I'll start on something new. Maybe I'll start reading The Lord of the Rings again. I've read The Lord of the Rings 13 times, and people still don't even know. People still don't even know that The Lord of the Rings was actually a book before there was a movie. So, but this is what I have collected book-wise lately. And so definitely looking forward to it. And then, when I went to the Crystal Fox, oh yeah, I'll come back around to that. Yeah, I'm with you. The history just totally fascinates me. Crunchy Mogul, have you seen any of the videos we've already done on the history? Because we've already gone through all the majors and the pips. I'd mentioned that earlier. We've got our, so we have the Two of Wands show that we do once a week. And we cover the history and the art of each tarot card. All the trumps, we've already done those, so all the videos are there, all the pips. And it's funny, looking at those first videos, the lighting, everything's off. I had, essentially, I was using Polaroid cameras, it looks like. It's just pretty bad. But so we may have to, Michael, if you are on, because I saw you were going to do this. Michael's the one who I am doing these with. I think it's official. We need to go through and we need to redo some of the initial, starting with the Fool, redo the Magician, things like that, bring the videos up to par. So, I absolutely and totally dig it. I love the history and stuff like that. So anyway, back to the Crystal Fox. So I drive up to Laurel. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, so that was my reason to go up there. And I go in, and I don't know what it is about occult shops, and sometimes I wonder if it's just because I'm a guy. But it seems like the people that work in them might as well be working fast food. There he is. Hey, Michael. So Michael's the one that we do the Two of Wands together. And we can redo some of, yeah, absolutely. So anyway, back to the Crystal Fox before I get too ADD. And going into most occult shops anyway, I don't know. I go into these places and I feel like I'm almost walking into a fast food restaurant. You ask a question and the person, they're probably bored and they get the same questions every day. I totally get that. But I've never walked into, actually no, there is one. There's one in Virginia near Richmond, where when I walked in there, the person actually looked happy to see me, wanted to answer questions, and they made a boatload of money off me because they made some awesome suggestions. So anyway, Crystal Fox, I go in there and they're chilling, which is fine. Again, I'm not saying that's anything bad or anything. And I walked over to their tarot section. So they have a wonderful selection of everything else. Their tarot selection was awesome. So they had, smells like sage instead of fries. Totally different vibe. That almost rhymes. Yeah. So I walked in there and again, I can absolutely recommend the Crystal Fox because they had dozens and dozens and dozens of unique books on the tarot, which is, I had to limit myself to what I was going to buy, and that's why I just bought the Essential Writings. I bought that when I walked out, but I also had been looking to buy this deck. So again, I read 50-50 Rider-Waite and Marseille. And plus I have all the other decks and things like that. But I had finally found, and I'm going to have to do a boxing on this, but it isn't Marseille Tarot, but it is the Jodorowsky. And to get the full-size Jodorowsky, I was going to have to order it from overseas or Chile or someplace else. But to my amazement, they had real copies. It's not a bootleg of the Jodorowsky. So what's special about the Jodorowsky? Well, this book is awesome. So this is one of those books I would suggest if you wanted to start reading this. Well, I would say this is the second one. The first one should be. This one's more digestible. Yeah. Yeah, true, actually. Yeah, even in Austria. Yeah. And again, it's like any job. It's a job, and I know that. But me, when I'm doing something, it's like, I guess I'm just enthusiastic. I don't know. I mean, I can't knock them for it. I'm saying it's a good store. They stock it well. It's not their job to make sure that I'm a happy person. Oh, wait. Oh, well. Anyway. But Jodorowsky had gotten with the company that actually made the Marseille Tarot, the original one. The Convert deck was made by this by Philip Camon's ancestors. And apparently he had access to documents and originals and all this other stuff. And so Jodorowsky made his own tarot deck based on secrets. Okay, this bothers me all the time. Secrets that they can't reveal. It's like, oh, come on. I mean, you might as well say you're Arthur Waite, because Arthur, he made his tarot deck from secrets that can't be revealed. It's like, no, that's not quite true. I'll just go pick up some Levi. I'll read this thing. I know what he's saying. Anyway, it just kind of, when somebody says that, it's like, okay, if you say so. But it is interesting when you read his book, because I was using my regular Marseille Tarot, but he mentions things like he says things like, the papist is supposed to have an egg there, which hatches knowledge. And I'm like, I look at my Convert deck and it's like, she doesn't have an egg there. But apparently he has secret knowledge. He has access to secret knowledge, which maybe he does. I know he is a visionary. I know that. If I was hating, I would not be pushing his book, and I would not be buying his deck. I'm just a saying. I'm a saying. So there's some things that are changed in here, but in reality, it's just a beautifully colored deck. So I mean, I'm actually looking forward to using it. He did a really good job, and when I compared it to my regular Convert, many of the things are the same. It's just that he just made a few little changes based on tweaks that he saw. So I guess I should actually do a full video just on this. So anyway, being ADD, I'm going to come back around and say, this was at the Crystal Fox. They should be giving me, as much as I've mentioned them now. So I walked in there and they had this deck, and that's what enamored me to the Crystal Fox. It's like, I have not seen this out in the wild anywhere. And again, it was there at the right time because it was one that I was looking forward to purchasing to go with the book I'd already read over 2 years ago. So that is very cool, and I'm ecstatic about that. Another deck that I had recently got, and I'm not saying that I have a geek side, okay? Michael might say that I do, but this weekend, nice to, yeah. This weekend, we are going to, me and Mina, girl of my dreams, we are going to, this camera does not do autofocus. So that's why I switch back and forth. But if there's any Supernatural fans, so I had to pick this up when it first came out, but we're actually going to go to the Supernatural convention. If you've seen the TV show. And the Chariot of... So it's a fun deck, but it's not one that I would ever read with. But anyway, this was actually a recent Becky, which makes sense. So knowing the show as well as I do, a lot of these cards are really just fun to have. Will I ever use it? I don't know, but I just wanted to say that this weekend in Alexandria is the actual Supernatural convention. And they are, you know, all the cast members are going to be there, so that is going to be pretty cool. Sorry you can't be there, Mike. You're on vacation. So that was one. And let's see, where's the other one? Oh. Good. Sam and D. And again, so, as I'm going through these, what else have I got here? There's the TV series Tarot, which I had seen before. And I don't know if there's any box scenes on these. But again, I have not done anything with it. But the first thing I noticed, talk about being geek, is that the full is the Fourth Doctor with K9. So I mean, it tickles my geek little heart. So this was another acquisition, and I'm going to check and see. I mean, if there's 100 videos on this, then I will not do it. Here we have some Game of Thrones for the Wheel of Fortune. But, Dexter is the hangman. So, Firefly for the Star. So I'm kind of looking forward to doing an unboxing video of that. And that was a gift. So, and again, with the people on here, if anybody's interested, yeah, it is. I'm actually going to have to, Walker, Texas Ranger, 6 of Wands. I'm going to have to actually do a video on it, I guess, because it is pretty cool. And I have not had a chance to go through it. Again, this was in the last month, which goes well with the deck that I already had, which is the movie tarot. So, and I will also get a preview, because I had forgotten about this. I have so many freaking new decks, so many books and everything. The Cthulhu, World of H.P. Lovecraft, Dark Arts Tarot. So, I've already got multiple Lovecraft decks. As a matter of fact, I'll show you something pretty rare. So, and I understand that when dealing with H.P. Lovecraft, because he was a racist, and I understand it's sensitive and all this stuff. He's from the 1920s. But I got this when it first came out in the 90s. And this is something that you're probably not going to see very many first editions of, because they did not make very many of them. But it is a Lovecraft Tarot from 1997, before it became a thing. So, by David D.L. Hutchinson, Dennis I think his name is. So I will be doing an unboxing of another Lovecraft video, tarot that has come out. Which means I have about 4 or 5 of them now. Can we get a glimpse? What would you like to get a glimpse of? Oh, and hey, Carla. So what? A glimpse of this one? Wahaha. Well, I will give you a glimpse of the back. So for, let's see here. The moon looks like Yuggoth. Strength is Wilbur Whateley. And yes, I have been reading Lovecraft since I was a child, before I picked up the tarot. So, yeah. Back when, pre-internet, before everybody had heard of Cthulhu. It used to be cool because, you know, I even have a Lovecraft, I have a tattoo right here of Cthulhu, which you can't really tell because I can't roll this up. But anyway, I have a Cthulhu tattoo that I got early 90s also. So, if any... That's sick. Hi, so if anybody wants a reading as I'm talking, if you just show something, you know, shout something out, let me know the topic, which you would like a reading on. And I will select from a deck generally based on the reading, which deck I'll actually use. And we can do that also. Let's see, what else have I gotten lately? So I will just tell you real quick some of the something cool that also I got from this book here. And we always hear about De Geblin. You know, or I'm sorry, if you read anything about the history of tarot, it kind of starts like this. De Geblin writes the Monde Primitif, where he mentions there's a card game called Tarots. And in there he says that these cards were Egyptian. And Denise Estevez, you certainly can. What would you like? Okay, if you want to give me a little more detail, can I get a reading about love? Well, love, I can tell you that it makes the world go round. Love is a many splendid thing. So if we narrow it down a little bit more, I'll stop singing lyrics. But we had De Geblin. He writes that. And then another volume comes along and he inserts an entire... Oh, and he says that he's the first one who noticed this. He was in a parlor. A woman was using the tarot to tell fortunes. And he noticed that it was Egyptian. He's the first one he knew within 15 minutes they were Egyptian. De Mellet sends in an essay that says the exact same thing, and De Geblin publishes the whole thing. So the question is, did De Mellet and De Geblin actually hear about this like in some group together, or did De Geblin actually steal the idea from De Mellet and then just actually had the nerve to publish the whole essay in the next volume? So there's debate about that. And then along comes Attila, who reads about fortune telling, gets into reading cards, but all the stuff that Attila does barely even touches the tarot that we know. He actually comes up with his own version of the tarot, which I have a copy of, and it finally explains it. It explained, when reading this, explained why why his tarot looks so different. He was actually just into card reading. He considered card reading up there with reading egg whites and coffee grounds. It was not that big a thing for him. The person following that, and he wrote a bunch of books, but the person following that was Levi. And it turns out that what makes Levi so important, Eliphas Levi, is that he was the first person to take all the Renaissance arts and put them together. He took astrology, the Kabbalah, the tarot, alchemy, and he's the first one to say these are not individual arts. They are, or they may be, but they are actually all part of one big whole. That's what makes Levi so special. And he's the one who brings it all together. And that's when the Golden Dawn springs up and things like that. People are looking for, because he really was not all that specific. And so people started digging deeper, looking for the correspondences. And that's actually where I kind of left off. And so I'm still reading. And I'm looking forward to reading more to do my next video. So Let's see what right here. We have, if you are an offering, I would like one. I'm thinking about going out and reading for strangers around town. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I would like to know if I'm going to find someone until the end of this year. Okay, so I tell you what, Elisa, I'll be right back with you. I am going to jump in here and look at Denise Estevez. I'm probably going to pronounce that wrong, and I so apologize. But yes, Elisa, I will follow up with you. But find someone until the end of this year. I would like to know if I'm going to find someone. So I will be right back because I want to grab a special deck. So I have a deck that I like to use for questions like this called the Anima Mundi. And it is a beautiful hand-painted deck. The person that created this deck actually had canvases this size. And she went through and she painted each one of these cards. And then she turned around, and after she published the deck, she sold the cards. So I actually have 2 of her cards. But I love reading with this deck. It's all nature-based. And the only time that a human being pops up in here is the devil card. And you can, and man is the devil in this deck. So, Denise, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm going to find someone until the end of this year, it's what we need to know about romance and finding somebody. It might be along the lines of advice if you do or if you don't. Let's see what we've got here. But let's see about finding that somebody before the end of the year. So I'm going to make 3 stacks, and each one of these is a thread going out to the universe. And whichever one we pull, whichever thread is going to be the conversation, because this one's going to be different than this one or this one. But we want to go for the heart on this one. We want to take a look at the heart, see where we're at with this, Denise. So I'm going to do a 3-in-1 spread. This is what I do every morning. So let's see where we are with this. So the first is the 4 of Wands. This is, if we're in the moment right now, saying, let's celebrate the moment. It's a good focus on being with the people that you know, being with those around you. Relationships are nice, but it's also important to have those around us until we find that someone special, someone that we can trust, someone that we want to celebrate with. And so we move into the Page of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles are about the earth. They're about home. They're about all those things that we use to nurture ourselves. And a page is somebody that is open. A page is somebody that is accepting of new ideas. Somebody who is willing to look at what's going on around them and learn from it. So I can see that you're in an environment, I think, that is a solid kind of nurturing environment. Because the next card we have is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is someone who is a teacher, someone who is strong, stable. They're very conservative. But it's also the church. So that could also mean something about maybe a traditional type. You know, if the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Coins, is about home and learning and growing. And if this is dealing with the church and or some type of a traditional setting, then I'm seeing actually a stronger bond than if this was just cups. Cups can be flighty, they can be romantic, they can be, they're what we write poems about. But sometimes they're also about fantasy, and sometimes they can lead it. My heart can lead me astray. So this is one of those things that's saying stability and a foundation, a foundation of having our feet on the ground and a tradition. So this is the advice card. Okay, so the advice card is the Queen of Wands reversed. Are you still with me, Denise? I know it takes about 30 seconds. Okay. Is any of this making sense up here so far? And I know it still takes about 30 seconds. I could get my guitar and sing. Okay. Yes, exclamation point. Good. Because here's the big thing. And for people on YouTube who aren't seeing this, Denise is on, she's on Twitch. And so again, I'm streaming in both places. Denise, I would encourage you to go to YouTube. If you go to the YouTube search and just type in MyTarot.org, you'll find my channel there. And that way it's easier to get in contact with me and stuff. Here's the advice card of the Queen of Wands reversed. So the Queen of Wands. Queens are, remember I talked about cups and how emotions can be volatile. Feelings can be volatile. Sometimes they can get in our way. Wands are about fire. Wands are energy. Okay, that's where I'm saying that this is a card about celebration. When you have the 4 wands like that, you have 4s are strong and stable. The Queen of Wands reversed can be angry, volatile. Emotions can get in the way. This is saying it's something to beware of, something to acknowledge, something that a Page of Pentacles is willing to learn about. This is as far away from being the Queen of Wands reversed as you can get. Okay. So up here we have what seems like a strong traditional situation. The one thing that the tarot is asking, and it looks like yes, it looks like, you know, you're wondering. It's like yes, it does, and it looks like it's a very traditional kind of situation for a possible involvement with another person. But it's only asking that we need to look at ourselves. We need to look at our feelings, things that may trigger us, emotions that sometimes will can make a situation go bad. Is any of this making any sense, Denise? Actually, absolutely you can, Gaia. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Denise. I'm seeing it's a very positive reading for next year, or for this year coming up. Just paying attention to a very positive reading for coming up. I mean, this is just shows a growth right here. And again, I had already mentioned about cups, and the queens are water, just like cups. And it's just saying that you've got the stability. The thing you need to focus on mostly is yourself, and the rest will fall in place. So, that is what I got from there. And let me take a breath. Whew. I have to let my shoulders relax. Take that breath. You know, in the mornings, if you join me every morning, 7:15 in the morning, I do a daily meditation Monday through Friday. And I listen to the cards like they are the waves on an ocean. And sometimes after a reading like that, I start to kind of get a little bit of a headache. And I listen to the cards like they're the waves on the ocean. Okay. So, and I'm also here if anybody's got any questions about tarot in general or history or anything like that. So, Elisa. So, if you're offering, I'm thinking about going out and reading for strangers around town. The readings will be for free, so I would like some advice from the cards around that. See, that is awesome because it's going to be a challenge for me because I don't speak the native language, but I think it's going to be an interesting experience. So, one of the reasons, you know, for all of Joe Dvorsky's flaws, the book I talked about here, one of the things that Joe Dvorsky talks about, and he is a famous director. He's directed some very famous films. I was surprised to find out that he was a tarot reader and even wrote. But he sits in tea shops. He goes to places. He reads for free. He talks about if you have a gift, then gifts are there to be given. You know, it's about sharing and things like that. So I think that's awesome that you want to do that. I mean, I'm absolutely pro getting paid. You know, because we're putting in our 10,000 hours and we have a lot to offer. But, you know, I'm also a musician and it's also about giving back. So I absolutely respect that you want to go out and do this for strangers or for people. I think that is amazing and awesome. So what I want to do then is that you are going to be the first person that I use Joe Dvorsky. Yep, you will be the first person. I was going to do an opening on this, but I think this deck's been around long enough to where I don't have to do that. Because this is kind of what he's saying to do. And that sounds so good. Sounds like the waves of the ocean. So, Gia, absolutely. And again, I would suggest bouncing over to YouTube. So if you want to see what other people are saying, if you guys want to be able to talk back and forth also. Most of the sharing goes back and forth. But Gia, you are definitely next. But this is about sharing and giving. And we all have some kind of gift. We all have something to offer. And to tell you the truth, people don't know this, but I'm actually an absolute isolator. I isolate. I forget to be around people. I forget to do things with people because it's just not natural for me. And I know people find that hard to believe because I am a performer. But it's why I have to remember to seek out and go out and do things like doing this online and playing music, because my life will just slip me by because I will completely forget to connect with other people. And then it's like all of a sudden, oh, that's what the problem is. So, let's see what we have for you. So, what you need to know about going out and reading for other people. So since this is about your intuition, Elisa, I am going to make my 3 stacks going out to the universe. Okay? 1, 2, 3. But I want your intuition to tell me which stack to use. 1, 2, or 3. Each one of these is a thread going out to the universe, and each one of these is a different conversation. So, based on what you choose, is the thread that we'll pull. And if you believe in the butterfly effect, it could resonate out to everybody. So give you that 30 seconds as I just kind of ramble here, but choose 1, 2, or 3. What's behind door 1, door 2, or door 3? I'll even take another sip of coffee. Still there, Elisa? Ah, the first one. Okay, so we're going to take a look at what's underneath it all. Okay. Going again with that 3 and 1. This is my first time reading with the Jodorowsky deck, so it'll give me a feel of this deck also. I can say that I like the cards sometimes when they're a little bit thinner than others. It makes it easier to shuffle, easier to hold, and to me they feel a little silkier. We have the Hermit, the 7 of Cups, and the 4 of Pentacles. So what is the Hermit? The Hermit is that wisdom that we seek. I mean, one thing that Jodorowsky says, and since we're talking about that, and we're talking about going out, he says that there are no coincidences. He says everything is an omen. When somebody walks in to your, the reading begins the moment the person walks in, the moment the doorknob spins, right? So that's why I'm going to say right now that the Hermit is learning by staring at this stack. And this is saying that you have that innate ability. You're looking here so that sometimes we may want to even see what the transition card is. So let's see what he's staring at. He's staring at the Death card. So before we even do any further on the reading, we can see here that there is a transition going on here. There's learning, there's wisdom to be found. Death is not a negative card. Death is about moving forward. Old ways have to die. Fears have to die. When we get trapped in ourselves is when it's hard for us to share a gift. When we're afraid what other people think, especially if it's free. In all reality, who cares what they think? We're giving out to the universe, and whatever you have to tell them, whatever you have to tell the person in front of you, just remember that it may not resonate with them today, but next week they may all of a sudden go, oh my God, that's why now I understand. So just remember that this reading, and you're saying that it already resonates with you, which is awesome, but even if you said, I don't get it, all I would say is, you might. Give it time, it has to sink in. But right now, you're taking what you have, and so now we have 7s, and 7s are about progress. 7s are about moving forward. And Cups are about emotions and feelings. And you can see that there is this 1 cup right here that is spreading forward. Okay? And notice that it's not coming from the other cups, because this is, I would say, the Hermit. That's actually, remember how I talked about the threads going out into the universe? And so here we have those threads going out. And if this was the Pamela Coleman Smith, the 7 of Cups is the guy looking out at the fantasy and stuff like that. But since I'm reading the Marseille Tarot, I'm going with what I see, and I'm seeing that regardless of what language you speak, the feelings are going to flow out, if that makes sense. Regardless of the words you speak, I see the feelings flowing out. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. So fours are what? Fours are stability. Fours are, that's how many legs are on a table. So when we have four, it's about a solidness. So I would say that what this is saying here is that we have the emotional output that you're able to give, and that just be confident and steadfast, but don't take it, don't be too conservative, because the thing about when things are too stable, like when we hold on to a gift, okay, and the coins can be health, they can be home, they can be money. But the thing is that with three, we have all this growth. And fours, we find that stability. But if we cling too tight to something, then it can get stagnant. And we can take things for granted, kind of thing. So this is saying here that you have a gift and things like that. Don't feel that you need to hoard your gifts. Okay? Don't feel the need. You have something to freely give. It's showing right here. Don't feel like you need to, for whatever reason, whether it's insecurity or anything like that. And I'm going to flip over the advice card now. And the advice card is the Three of Cups. And the threes are about growth. And look at this. This is saying that you've got all this to offer. It's saying, remember this and let it flow up and out. I mean, you look at the cards, you look at the directions they go, you look at the pictures that it gives you. It's saying that this is a thread going out to the universe. And it's absolutely about the growth that you have to give. I'm seeing this as an absolutely positive thing. Just don't take your gift and become conservative or afraid to use it. Just be willing, just let it go. Just let it happen. You don't need to be conservative with it. You have what you need. So I'm seeing this again, and I mean, if it was negative, we'll have negative readings come up, but I'm seeing this as one of those things that it's like, we see your gifts. We see that you can let it flow out, but don't feel hampered. Don't feel like you need to be closed in or conservative about it. So, is that making any sense at all? I think this is just a beautiful flow right here, and I really like the way the colors are really vibrant on this deck. And I think that this just kind of creates a scale, and it just shows wisdom. It's like the two different sides. So I hope that helps. And that is for you. So I've got just a few more minutes left. Why, thank you. And is that Petty Wheat Straw? That is an interesting name. But thank you very, very much. Let me catch up here. When I look at Twitch just keeps on, it doesn't scroll. So I'm scrolling now. I got all... So when I do a reading, I just go away. I don't read anything. But I love the tarot. My gosh, it's like I've played music for 30 years also. And I never get tired of it. It's just that gift. So, Elise, thank you very much. And Park Sama, hi, have a good stream. Well, thank you very much. Gaia, I'm going to do a quick read for you. And then I'm going to have to kind of wind it down from there, maybe. And then, Elise, that was honest, that was amazing. Honestly, I truly have that problem of being open in the outside world about my tarot work, etc. So yeah, it helped a lot and made a lot of sense. Thank you so, so much. And just stay in touch. Let me know. You can go to the, I'll put in the link, subscribe here. But I'll also put in the link about Facebook page where you can come and let me know how it works out. So, let me do Gia here. Gia, are you still here? Gaia? Let me see how much time I have. I'm actually waiting for Mina, the girl of my dreams, to come home. And so I can kind of like keep going until she gets here. Then I have to run up there and just let her know that I am ecstatic that she is home. Give her the little huggy feely kind of thing. So Gaia, let's see. Here we go. I've been talking to a guy long distance for a while now. They've been distant, and I basically want to know if they're ghosting me or if something else is happening. Okay, so talking to somebody long distance and you're wondering if they're just ghosting you or if something else is going on. What do we need to know about that? Yeah, there is, especially on Twitch. So Gia's saying, or Gaia, I think there's a little delay between stream and chat because I answer you immediately. Yes, there absolutely is. But I got your question. And I'm just going to go the traditional route for this one. So let's do the Rider-Waite. And the reason why, so with the Marseille, I don't read reversals as a general rule. With the Rider-Waite, I do. And people often ask, well, how do I decide what cards to reverse? So I personally try and even it out. And then I just simply do this. Then I do this. And then that reverses the cards. So this is a deck that I haven't straightened out in a long time. So I use this for reversals all the time. But let's see. So it's a long distance. I've had the long distance relationships. They are tough. It's tough to keep the interest going. You know? But let's see. My shoulders relax. Take that breath. Listen to the cards like they're the waves. These are tips that I give. Okay. So Guy, I'm going to do the 3 split here. But I tell you what, I am going to make the decision here on which one to grab because since this is something that you're just wondering, it's like what's on the surface with everything that's going on. I'm going to take the top here so we can see what's right on the surface. Okay? I'm going to do our 3 and 1. Because anything else, and I'll be here for an hour, and that drives Mina nuts. She's like, can't you do a quick reading? It's like, I can. I just don't like to. Nothing thrills me more than to do, like, 2 readings to get to the heart of a conversation. So, I was making sure that wasn't Mina now that it's 5 o'clock. I'm keeping an eye on my text. So let's see. Oh man, so we're starting right off with the 9 of Wands. Okay, so 9s are about reaching that end. And the wands are that heavy suit. Wands are that energy we put in to finally reach some situation, the ending of something. Then we have the Seven of Swords reversed. We have the King of Wands reversed. We have the Three of Coins reversed. So Gia, what I'm seeing here is that I can see all this effort being put forth. And the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Swords, seven sometimes with the swords, it's that mental thing where we do things sometimes we normally wouldn't, particularly if this card's upright like this. Pamela Coleman Smith has it almost like somebody stealing something, but I like to think of it when I get that mental stress and I act or behave or do things that I normally wouldn't, and then we come back later and say, why did I do that? That's not like me. So that's kind of what this card is. But with it reversed, it's kind of realizing when maybe we're getting our ducks lined up in the row, maybe our thought process is like we're starting to come to understand something. And since it's looking at the Seven of Wands, so here we have, the Nine of Wands, maybe we're learning from our past and all the effort we put in. And maybe we're seeing the King of Wands for what he is. I'm just going to read it like it is, and I'm going to just say what the cards are. I will let you interpret. But the kings are like the swords. Kings are about air. Kings are about the thought, the intellect. They rule a kingdom. They are strong-willed. Court cards can be people. They can be us. They could be somebody else. Wands being fire and energy, but this card reversed. I'm seeing kind of something play out here, and I just don't want to verbalize what I'm seeing, but I'm just explaining the cards. The advice card here with the Three of Pentacles reversed. Normally this is about being able to work together with somebody and create something new. But the Three of Pentacles reversed is reminding us that it's like, we put all this effort in. Maybe we don't react the way we normally would. Maybe we get this mental thing going on. And maybe it's because we need to take a look at what the end result could be. Is this kind of making any sense to you, Gaia? I'm going to give her the few seconds. Maybe you have something to add to this. So, essentially it comes down to we realize normally we already know the answer. Yeah. But I get the feeling like maybe we already know the answer. Based on this reading right here, I'm not seeing it. But it's one of those things where if we're looking for advice and we want to push an issue, then the advice card is do something constructive. Then you're going to have to build something. And to do that, you're going to have to find a way to turn this card around, if possible, because again, reading the cards, they don't actually just foretell a future. It is a way to look at ourselves in a different way. But this is asking you to look inside yourself about what's really going on. And if you want to do it, you're the one that's going to have to do the effort. So far, I think this is about being kind of like, just like A Ascendant said, it's kind of like a one-way thing. So, I hope that helps you. And so, it is 5:07, and Mina, the girl of my dreams, the person who I love more than anybody else in the world, she is going to be home here in a minute. So, I want to greet her at the door. Let her know that she is loved. You should do the same thing today. If there's somebody you can do that with, make their day. That's my theory. So I hope that I hope everybody enjoyed this a little bit. I mean, I got to share a little bit about myself, and you guys got to share a little bit for me, and I appreciate that. And I want to hear from the people, especially that I've done the readings for. So if you go to the MyTarot.org, which is my website, I've got links to the YouTube page and to the Facebook group, and I would love to get a follow-up on this. I'm sorry, Hermit, very much. Didn't mean to waste your time. I still hope you have an amazing day, though. But I've got the message that she's almost home. So, yeah. Hammett, sorry about that. I mean, but I will be doing this again. And you can absolutely drop by the Facebook page. And Hammett, absolutely. I give readings for free, Hammett. And one of the things that I do is that if people actually give, if they go to like the Facebook page and I see that they're answering questions and they're doing stuff for people and things like that, Hammett, that I would even just take a moment and spend all the time with you. You know? I have no problems with that. Because I know it sounds like you're frustrated, and I understand that. So again, thank you all very, very much, though. And have an amazing day. And I will be doing the morning meditation again on Monday at 7:15 Eastern. And you're welcome to join me then. And Michael, I think, will be back for next week, I'm hoping. So we can do the Two of Wands and we can start covering the court cards. So, oh, well, thank you, A Ascendant, very much. And Hammett, again, feel free to reach out. I absolutely understand your frustrations. So take care, everybody. Again, have an amazing day, an amazing week. And thank you very, very much. And again, if you have something you can give to somebody, or if you can reach out to somebody, just remember that today's probably a good day to do it. Take care.